Yeah, man. Let's kill that bass head. Alright, let's do this. I'm on the air, we got this pockets flow. It's me and Tony on the mics, we gotta let you know of current events, little gaming, sprinkling some entertainment. We stay humble, but our mom still thinks we're famous. Turn up the bass and baby, maybe let that magic flow. Our spoken word is all the things you really wanna know. Having a good time on the show, T-Bows and Matty G. Tune in and hit subscribe and join us on the FAP.
Welcome, everyone, to the Freaking Awesome Podcast. I am your host, Anthony Bowes. Matty G could not make this episode, but we have got the best guest for you today. Unfortunately, there was a little bit of a power outage out in his area, but he has joined us via phone. So, of course, we're still going to get a little bit of time with them. Ladies and gentlemen, I would love to introduce to you, no Halloween would be complete without, of course, someone here to represent Mike Myers. Today we have Tyler Main. Tyler, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing absolutely wonderful. I got to tell you, I've been so thankful that we were able to get you here on the show. Sorry to hear about the power outage out there, but you can't stop Mother Nature from doing her thing.
No, that's exactly right. At least we're still able to connect, this way.
Yeah, 100%. So it's absolutely a treat to have you on the show. Like I said, I'm trying not to fanboy too much because, I just recently had caught, of course, what Rob Zombie's remakes of the Halloween series. And I got to tell you, man, like, as a Mike Myers, like you're a beast. Like the scene where the police are walking you through the insanatorium there, and you break the chains. It's just like a whole new way of seeing Mike Myers at this point.
Yeah, I'm definitely the biggest one, and we decided to kick it up a notch in his intensity and make him a product of his environment, and that we did.
Oh, absolutely crazy. So one thing that I have to, I got to talk about this before we get into the Halloween part of the show, because this has been sitting on my chest ever since, of course, I was able to contact you. Can we briefly talk about the original Xmen movie and your part of Sabretooth?
Yeah, sure.
I got to tell you. So so I got to ask you, how tall are you?
6'8".
6'6"?
6'8".
6'8". Wow.
Yeah.
So, because I know that Hugh Jackman is not really a tiny guy by any nature, but here I feel like when they did the original X-Men movie, not only did they get someone who was huge like the original Sabretooth should be, but you really kind of tower over him in it, and you'd played an amazing part. Like, it wasn't about like, don't get me wrong, I know Liv Schreiber kind of plays the new version of Sabretooth, but he just doesn't have the impact that, of course, you did as Sabretooth.
Yeah, well, he definitely didn't have the height, and being my height, they also had me in about 6 or 7 inch lifts too, so I was really tall.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
And I don't know how women do it. I mean, just trying to walk in those things was crazy.
that's amazing. I gotta say, that's got to be a real challenge for you, right? Because I mean, at that point, I don't know about you. Like, I stand 6 feet tall, and when I look down at the ground, I don't really feel like I'm all that tall. But at your height, when you kind of turn around, you look over down at your feet, like, do you see a significant amount of depth right there? Or
about,
I was kind of
6'8".
well, it's kind of like, is it comparable? Like, when you're that tall, you look down, you're like, I don't really feel that tall.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's what you're used to. And the weird thing is, I mean, I hate heights. I mean, I do not like climbing ladders and things like that. And you'd think that it wouldn't bother me, but I mean, you put me on a 3-foot ladder, and I'm freaking out.
I mean, you're like a human ladder as it is. Like, you don't need to be
I know,
any
right?
taller.
Go figure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the nice thing about that is if you work things out, you could say, they say, well, can you reach up there and get it? And you could say, no, but I'll lift you up and you can do it.
There you go.
Right. So absolutely amazing. I mean, you definitely play a lot of heavy hitting roles, though. I mean, everything from warriors to super villains to just the psychotic. I mean, they definitely are taking advantage of the fact that you are a big man.
Yeah, and I just we finished up a Netflix TV series, Jupiter's Legacy, that's going to be coming out either the end of this year or next year. It's a Mark Miller comic book adaptation. So that so everybody should look forward for that. Which we filmed in Toronto. I don't know. Are you guys in Toronto or close to it? Or
We're close. Yeah, we're in the Kingston area.
oh, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I loved it there. I was there for about on and off for about 6 months last year. So that was a lot of good times.
Yeah, it's a beautiful city to be in. It's nice because if you didn't feel like driving around, you can get anywhere in that city, and all hours of the night. There's always transportation. There's always a way of getting from where you want to be, and of course, there's always something to do all night long there.
That is true. That is.
There are parties that people don't even know about.
That is true too.
Yeah. So before we continue on, we have, of course, a little part of our segment of our show, which is some humorous news around the world. Today, the news I picked up was actually quite interesting, and of course, maybe it's a good time to have this. This is an article that the headline was "Enjoy the scent of bacon amid the pandemic." There's just something about the smell of breakfast meat that will make you forget all about COVID-19. U.S. food company Hormel has created a face mask that will allow its wearers to enjoy the smell of bacon anytime they want. According to Hormel, the black label breathable bacon mask will make its the latest in bacon smell technology, and will give the wearers a smell of bacon around their faces as they protect themselves from the novel coronavirus. Hormel Black Label bacon is bacon scented for an irresistibly breathable, heavenly aroma that will keep it all to yourself. The state's company online that's the description of the mask. They don't state whether or not they'll actually be for sale, but you can actually win one if you go to their online breathablebacon.com.
Well, and that's another coronavirus test too, right? Because if you stop smelling the smell of bacon, you might have coronavirus.
That's exactly it. It's a 2-in-1 treatment.
Coronavirus test.
Yeah. It is. It's true. The funny thing about this is, I mean, I'm kind of curious how they create their bacon technology. I mean, bacon has never really been a source of technology in my in my books. So, I mean, is it like?
No, I mean, I like the smell of bacon, but I don't know if I want it all day long.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I love bacon probably just as much as the next person, but I think just like everything, it would either wear out or it would get to a point where you mix it with some other type of smell, and then suddenly bacon's just ruined for you at that point.
Yeah.
So that'll be it'll be interesting to see exactly how they decided to work that one out, and whether or not people will, of course, purchase it. So
it might get its 15 seconds in fame. You never know.
That's right. Well, I mean, apparently KFC has teamed up with Crocs to make chicken smelling Crocs. So I guess anything is possible. I mean, I'd much rather have bacon on my face than chicken on my feet.
Yeah, I mean, that'd just drive your dogs nuts, wouldn't
it? Right? Yeah, I wouldn't have Crocs for very long if that was the case.
Yeah, my dog would just eat Crocs if I had chicken smelling Crocs.
That's right.
That doesn't.
Well, I would be I would be just totally put off chicken eventually, because then it would be synonymous with the smell of feet.
Yeah, right.
So
That uh,
totally wrong. Totally wrong.
now if it was gravy smell, that's a different, that's a whole different thing, right?
That's right. That's right.
You know, but gravy has its own kind of smell. That's the good old days, you
That's
know.
right. Yeah, it's funny. There's a product out there that I can't remember what it is. Now it's kind of on the tip of my tongue, but it always smells like what I feel is synonymous with Christmas. You know, like that smell of like a turkey, mashed potatoes, gravy kind of smell. And
Oh, yeah.
right, and it's one of those things that you can smell all year long, and instantly I am like, oh, it's Christmas. This is fantastic.
Well, we'll be smelling those smells soon.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah,
for real,
it won't be
for
too long.
real,
I'm looking forward to it.
right?
We already got a little bit of snow the other day. It was the first time in a long, long time did we actually get any snow in this region so early in the year. But you know, I do feel like the one thing that come out of COVID is because people had to stop driving around and collecting as much as they normally would. That I think the environment is a little bit better for it. So we might actually have an old fashioned winter like we used to.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
But that is, I tell you, that is one thing I do not miss. I do not miss the cold and the snow.
Yeah.
That is, uh,
I feel like for Christmas, yes, but you know, I was down in Florida with my family a couple years back, and I saw the way that they decorate for Christmas, and I'm like, I could do this. I could totally do this.
yeah. I mean, it's just something you get used to, you know.
Yeah,
It,
yeah,
you know, if you're, because I grew up in Canada, right? I grew up in Saskatchewan, where 40 below and cold wind chills and stuff like that. And you're like, nah, you know what? I don't miss that anymore. I'm getting too old for that crap, having to plug your car in and all of that stuff. So
yep. Yeah, like we've been there. I don't need to do that anymore.
yeah,
Clearly, that's why you were a perfect candidate for Sabretooth, of course, being from the proper region and the proper height. So that must have been just like gold for the production company when they saw you.
yeah. I mean, my audition was. They were originally wanting me to do stunts because I was a pro wrestler. And I was tagged with Kevin Nash, and they were talking to Kevin at the time for playing Sabretooth, and then something didn't work out. You know, he was maybe a little overweight or something. And then the stunt coordinator showed Brian Singer my picture, and of course, I had the long blonde hair at the time, you know, and he said he wanted to see me, so I went and did all my research for the role in that, and I went in and I got fake teeth and everything because I really wanted to get this role, and
Yep.
went into the office, and my audition was literally him jumping up on the glass coffee table and saying, "Choke me." And I reached up and I choked him, and he goes, "You're Sabretooth." Oh my God. And that's how I got the job.
That's
So,
fantastic. That's a great way to get
yeah.
it, and you know, as long as he wasn't enjoying that choking too much, and that make it awkward.
Well, yeah, you know. Moving on.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk about Mike Myers now. Was this a part that you, of course, I'm sure, kind of grew up with the whole Halloween series? Was it something you were overly familiar with when this part came along?
You know, well, first of all, I'll explain how I got it. I auditioned for the Devil's Rejects for a role
Mm,
for Rob.
yep.
Didn't get that role because he wanted me to take over the role of Rufus in the Devil's Rejects. So I was on set with him for 4 days and did that gig. It worked really well, and left and thought nothing of it. And I was back in Canada in Vancouver getting ready to talk to some producers about another project.
Yeah.
The phone rang, and it was a couple of years after working with Rob, and phone rings, pick it up, it's Rob Zombie. He goes, "Hey, I want you to play Michael Myers." And you know, I was familiar with Michael Myers and the Halloween franchise, but I wasn't really familiar with it.
Yep.
So then I just got into it, and I watched all of them except for the third one where Michael Myers doesn't even appear, Season of the Witch or whatever it is. So I
Yep.
was like, okay. But and then he explained how he was going to make him more than one-dimensional character and pick him up a notch and make him aggressive. And so I was in. We ended up doing two of them together, which was really cool. And a lot of us from the films have become family.
Yeah, yeah. So as you mentioned, it was kind of like a reimagining the way Rob Zombie wanted to kind of approach this film, and it truly was like, I mean, from someone who grew up with the original ones, and it was a, not to be too obvious, but it was they were a little campy, right? I mean, horror films at the time, you think that I guess maybe when I was a kid they were super kind of spooky or something, but as you get older and you look back at them, you're like, "Oh, I'm kind of surprised I found this scary." But then you look at Rob Zombie's reimagining of it, and the violence, of course, is a little over the top because that's the way Rob likes to work things. But it's the way they approached your character. I mean, when you see Mike Myers young and then he goes into the institution and then you don't basically see him for another 12 years, and then out you walk with the hair down over your
Yeah,
face and just menacing, and you're towering over the guards, and like, I think it was one of those things that you can only imagine the amount of people whose like jaw drops to think, oh my god, this kid really grew up big." And
yeah,
right,
yeah,
and then just the amount of power behind your character as well. They don't really touch base exactly what he did in this hospital when he was in there, but clearly this boy was working out.
yeah. Just naturally a big guy.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, you got chains snapping, punching doors practically off their hinges. I mean, just the power behind Mike Myers in this in the new reimagining of these movies are just insane. And I got to tell you, and you really pulled off. And it's not easy to play a character where you're behind a mask the whole time because you don't get a sense of expression. And we had CJ Graham on the show, who of course played Jason Voorhees not too long ago, or in number 6, and just explaining to play a character who hides behind a mask where you don't get to see facial expressions, you actually have to act harder, because now you have to show the way that you're portraying confusion and frustration and anger, and it's all in your body motions.
Yeah, you still have language. It's just body language,
Hmm.
and you have to convey your character's intentions through the body language that you have. And like, if you watch my performance, like from the asylum up until I get to digging up the mask and putting the mask back on,
Hmm.
my shoulders are slouched. I'm kind of shuffling in the asylum and I'm slowly getting it back. And then when I get the suit, I'm a little bit more like Michael Myers. But then as soon as I get that mask and the knife,
Yeah.
it's all on Michael Myers.
Yeah.
So kind of like a build and taking you on that journey of how he develops and gets his game back, so to speak.
Yeah.
And the editor, I became really good friends with the editor, and he asked, he said, "Did you guys have like 6 different masks or something to show expression?" Because he really thought that from my body language and everything, that the face was changing or something was, and it was just all just with the body language and the
Yeah.
way I was moving and positioning my head and moving, that portrayed it. Of course, you could see my eyes, and if you have that look in your eyes that
Mhm.
you really want to tear someone apart, that comes across too and gives you a whole nother depth to the character.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, you can do so much with eyes, but I gotta tell you, I mean, to be able to do what you did with just body language is really a talent, because a lot of people, I think when you get acting and you start moving around, it's kind of an extension of you. You don't think twice about it, but I mean, you must have to put a lot of thought into thinking, okay, he's broken, he's weak, he's been in this asylum. Okay, I'm going to show weakness and kind of hunch, and it's true, as you progressively move forward and you get the next kill, and you You get the outfit, and then you get the mask, and then you see this rise to empowerment, to then he stands tall and is strong and brutal, and it was really well done. Just amazing performance.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
Uh,
it was a lot of bringing that character to life.
Yeah, it's definitely. I got to give you a lot of props, because, like I said, it can't be easy when you've got a character who doesn't say anything, right? And to convey all those emotions. So really, really amazing. I know we are very limited time, so I'm going to jump over to the next section of our show, where we're going to ask you a couple quick questions, and just let me know the first thing that comes to your mind.
All right.
All right. What made up word would you register into the English language?
Jabroni.
Jabroni. Love it. That's actually funny, because we had Tito Santana on the show not too long ago. Scariest dream you've ever had?
Getting eaten by a shark.
Okay, yeah, that'd definitely be scary enough. If you could have a superpower, which one would you want?
Fly.
Flying.
Or invisibility. One of the both.
Yeah, if you could do both, it'd be fantastic. Have you ever? There's a really funny video out there where someone's you can pay to have superpowers, and everybody wants to be Wolverine, and they said, well, that's 2 powers: quick healing and adamantium claws. You only have enough money for one. Which one do you want? So of course everybody picks the claws, and then they don't realize that they can't heal every time it keeps coming out.
You're right.
So, yeah, it's really funny.
I take the healing for.
Yeah, I would totally take the healing. What is your earliest childhood memory?
Wow, that's. I don't know. I'd have to say learning to ride a bike. I don't.
Yeah.
Or no, actually, probably going to kindergarten, learning to ride a bike. Something like that.
Well, it's still pretty good. Yeah. What makes you happiest?
My wife.
She'd be really upset if she didn't hear that, right?
Right.
Yeah. Good. It was a good choice. What foreign language would you like to learn the most? Spanish. Yeah, that's an especially good one, being down in the U.S.
Yes.
What decade would you like to most live in?
I'd have to say 60s or 70s.
Yeah, okay, that's good.
Rock.
Yeah.
Classic rock.
Yeah, that's good. What was the first movie that made you cry?
It made me cry. Wow. I don't know.
That's a tough one to give up the tough guy attitude to, right? Like, you're like, I don't cry. What are you talking about? I make people cry.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to pass on that one.
Yeah. Okay. Do you believe in aliens?
No.
Oh, you were the second person to say that. Interesting. Robert Wall was the first person. All right. If PETA wouldn't get on your case, what exotic animal would you domesticate?
Lion.
Lions. Yeah, that's always a super popular one. What gets on your nerves? Yeah.
People that don't use their turn signals when they're driving.
Oh man, that is frustrating. That is like the worst. And you, of course, being up from Canada, you know how often that happens here too. So,
yep.
What was the last thing you did just for yourself?
The last thing I did just for myself. Probably went into my steam shower.
Okay, cool. Oh, I love this one. If you could remove a holiday from the calendar, which one would you get rid of?
Wow. That's a tough one. I know I can't say Halloween. That's really
right. You'd get in a lot of
wow.
trouble for that one.
Yeah, I could do that. I'd say that just to piss people off.
Yep.
Um, I don't know. I already got my wife's a Valentine's Day.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yep. Yeah, well, you know what? That's the one I would say. I mean, I don't feel that you need to have a day to tell your partner that you love them. So, and it's definitely over commercialized. So I definitely don't need someone telling me that if I don't buy a gift, I don't love them.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not doing that every day, you shouldn't be with the person you're with.
That's exactly it. Yep. So what do you do when you can't fall asleep?
I stare at my phone and I play solitaire.
Solitaire. Yeah, my weakness is Candy Crush. I don't know why, but
Yeah,
my family got
and
me into that.
solitaire would block. Those are the two.
Okay, cool. Yeah. What activity do you do that makes you lose track of time?
Wow, writing.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Do you have a book on its way?
No, I'm working on a TV series right now.
Oh, very cool. Are you able to give us a heads up of what it is?
Yeah, it's called The Last Spartan. It's a TV series about the last enforcer for the Spartans, and he is brought into the human trafficking, and he's the only one that can help solve cases. So he's kind of teaming up with the law enforcement to solve cases in human trafficking.
That's really cool. Well, we'll have to make sure you let us know more about that when it comes out.
I will.
Yeah.
I will.
What is the best thing you've ever eaten?
Coffee rub steak.
Oh, very nice. I wouldn't have put those two together, so that sounds really cool.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's cool. And the last question I have for you is, what is your favorite podcast you've been on in the last 12 hours?
I'd have to say yours.
Hey, that's excellent. There's no hesitation. That makes me feel good. So this is a great time, of course, if you have anything that you'd like to pitch or any type of social media, of course, where people can get in touch with you, or even if you're part of any charities.
Yeah, I mean, I started up Main Entertainment with my wife, and we've released our second film, which is Penance Lane. So check it out. And our first film we re-released, which is Compound Fracture. So please check out Penance Lane and Compound Fracture.
Very cool.
You can go to mainentertainment.com and find more information about them. And you can see about the Last Spartan, the TV series that we're working on developing. Check me out on, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I'm the real Tyler Main on Instagram, Tyler Main on, I think, just about everything else. Check it out, and let's keep in touch.
Yeah, for sure. That's excellent. Well, Tyler, I know we are short on time, as I mentioned before, but thank you very much. Despite being in a storm and not being able to make the video, I'm glad that you were able to make a call. And we hope to have you back on the show at some point. We'd love to come back and touch base when, of course, the other shows launch and talk a little bit more about those.
Sounds good.
Amazing.
Sounds good.
Excellent.
Looking forward to talking to you. Finally seeing you guys.
Yeah, for sure. Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Tyler. You have yourself a wonderful evening and have a very safe and happy Halloween.
All right. You too. Take care.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Well, ladies and gentlemen who might be just tuning into the show, unfortunately, as mentioned before, Tyler Main could not make the live stream because they had a big power outage after a storm. But go back and check out the conversation. What a wonderful gentleman. And stay tuned. We have more shows coming up this evening. We actually have 2 more. So wonderful actresses in the Scream Queens to finish off Halloween. So stay tuned at 7 o'clock and 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We will have 2 more shows. We'll see you again soon.